In this video, I was hypnotized to connect to my higher self. We went to my childhood, the womb, and then connected to the higher self in the spiritual realm. The higher self has all the resources and the wisdom that the physical body needs in order to strive. Throughout many of the regression sessions, I was able to recall many of my childhood memories, which I do not recall as an adult. It is satisfying and so enriching. So get yourself a glass of drink and make sure you are comfortable. Stay tuned and allow my inner wisdom and insight to surface. Like it, share it, or subscribe it if you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.
In time. 5. Back in time. 4. Drifting and floating back to your childhood. 3. Allow the impressions, memories, and scenes to come to the surface. 2. All the way back. And 1. Be there. Be there now. A happy time, an enjoyable time, a memorable event from your childhood.
We're
Allow the
playing some
memories.
games.
I'm sorry?
We're playing games.
You're playing games. Can you tell me about the games?
There are a few games we play. There's one we use this string, a long string that's in a loop here. We will play with our fingers. So we would try to make a different shape. We would run around with the finger with different finger, and then another person have to hook and take different angle and make a different shape, if that makes sense. I don't know what we call that.
I
That's
actually
one
know what you're
game.
talking about. I used to play this. It's a very
Yeah,
fun game.
we play that and be as creative as we can. Um, yeah, you can. It's quite an intelligent game, I'd say. We don't do that nowadays. Child don't play them anymore.
Mhm.
We we play that, then um we draw a different shape on the ground, and we threw a rock into the box if we draw shapes, different shapes, and
Mhm.
we have to be on one leg jumping. You have to jump in certain fashion or give some distance. You have to avoid certain box and then pick up the rock or stone, whatever it might be. You team up with someone. You can play one against one or two against two. Those games, they're good times. Yes, we play it after school or even during class break.
Mhm. Sounds wonderful. And about how old do you feel when you're playing these games?
Mm, maybe 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
We played this game perhaps throughout my primary schools, I'd say.
Mhm. Now you mentioned that you're playing with others. As you look around, is there any messages that you see from anybody else? Who's there with you?
Mm, I'd say have fun. Remember to have fun.
To have fun. Remember to
Because
have fun.
I work a lot. I work too much.
Mhm.
So yes, that's good to have fun. I'm allowed to have fun, and life is about balance. It's not
Mhm.
always about work.
It's balance and work. Okay. So you're
Not
talking about,
not always about work.
mhm.
It's about balance.
It is about balance. So maybe when you're talking about this game that you were playing where you're making different shapes. So maybe, if you ever see a shape similar to what you used to make, it'll be a remembering to have that balance, to make sure that you remember that work, but also play is important to have
Perfect.
that in your life.
Yes.
Perfect, wonderful. And is there anything else that you would like to share about or you'd like to explore?
Mm, it reminds me about the friends, my brother. I'm very close to my brother. But those childhood friends, I don't see them nowadays because I moved. Yeah, it's good memory.
Good memories.
Mm.
Okay, well, before we leave the scene, I just want you to know that you have total and complete recall of everything you just experienced. And even if you didn't tell me about it, I sometimes find that I only hear about the tip of the iceberg, though there can be much more going on, and that's okay. You have total and complete recall of everything you experienced with any of your senses in this scene and all of the other experiences you have today in this life or any other lifetimes we visit today. So when you are ready, allow yourself to float up out of that scene, still wrapped in your healing, protective cocoon of light. Cocoon of light as we continue this journey, going back even further in time. As you rise up, bring all those wonderful memories and feelings with you, wrapping your cocoon of light. Cocoon of light. That's right. Now we're going back to an even younger time, younger than before, back to one of those earliest enjoyable memories as a child. Going back now to one of the earliest enjoyable memories as a child, allow your healing protective cocoon of light to take you back in time. Going back now, 5, drifting and floating back in time. 4, moving, shifting, floating back to one of the earliest happy, enjoyable childhood memories. 3. Allow the impressions, feelings, and memories seems to come bubbling up to the surface. 2. Allow all the way back. 1. Be there now. That's right. Just let it unfold. What do you notice? What do you feel, sense? Just let me know.
There are two things back and forth. Step one and another. Mm, one is I'm having medicine.
What is having medicine?
My dad is feeding me medicine. I We always got this big round white tablets. They're so bitter. They taste awful when we got sick. When I say we got sick, I'd say perhaps just flu. We had this village doctor. Everybody knows him. Everyone goes to see him. That's the only doctor we go to. Each time it's the same tablets, it's same pills. It's
Mm-hmm.
it tastes awful every time. My dad would try to. It's really big. It's big than my nail. You know the size of the nail covering my fingertip. It's so
Mm-hmm.
big. It's and dad has to cut it into small pieces. And then they would feed me and I would vomit because it's so awful. It tastes just awful and it's so big. You can't go to the throat. Um, yeah, we have those
Mm-hmm.
moments for life. I remember Dad would try his best to find any way, find any way to feed
Mm-hmm.
us, I mean, me and my brother when we are not well. The
And I,
Mingo stack was another thing that we were in the farm field in the land that me and my brother was very little. We were we were not doing much. I think we were in the pram maybe
mhm.
because we were so little.
About how little do you think?
Maybe two.
Maybe two. Okay, that's cool. And you said that he was giving you medicine because you were sick. Do you know what was going on?
I think I was older.
Oh, at that
When
time.
when I have medicine, I'm a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
When I was little as a baby, um, I think what it says to me, the messages is that I can allow myself to feel love.
Allow yourself to feel love. What a wonderful message. And how do you feel about that message?
Think sometimes life gets really busy that you either people contact you or people don't contact you. But if people lose contact with you or if you lose contact with others, that does not mean that you're not loved. Remember that we are not alone. That if people are not attending to your needs for the time being, you are still loved. That's the message I get.
It's a beautiful message and it's a very good message. Sometimes we forget and we just have to remember that one doesn't mean that they don't love you. So, very good message. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so now, whenever you're ready, let's float up out of that scene, still wrapped in your healing protective cocoon of light. And as we continue this journey going even further back in time, this cocoon of light is wrapped all the way around you, from your head and toe, and you feel safe. You feel protected, comfortable, and secure. Cocoon of light, cocoon of light, cocoon of light. Now know that all those wonderful memories and messages will always stay with you. And know that you are always loved and you will always feel that love. Now, as you get even more comfortable than before and relax down even deeper and deeper and deeper, it's time to continue the journey even further back in time. This time, we're going to allow your healing, protective cocoon of light to carry you all the way back in time before your birth, going all the way back to the time after your conception and before your birth, back to that very special time in the womb when you are getting ready for your upcoming life. Going back now, 5, back, back, back in time. 4. Drifting and floating back to the wound. 3. Allow the impressions, the feelings, the memories and experience come bubbling up to the surface. 2. All the way back, all the way back. And 1. Be there now, in the wound. Notice how it feels to be in this place. It may not be a visual experience. It may be dark in there. You may be aware of sounds. You may even be aware of silence. You may be aware of movement, moving, or stillness. Feel into that experience. Become aware of how it feels to you. Feel and breathe into that experience. Connect with that feeling. And when you are ready, let me know. What are you experiencing? What is it like to be back in the womb?
It feels warm physically, but mentally, some words I don't feel like to be here.
You say you don't like to be there?
Mm,
And about how old is the fetus right now?
5 months.
5 months.
His dad and mom fight a lot.
Mom and dad fight a lot. Okay. And about what time was the first time that you made a connection with the fetus?
Hmm, maybe 2 or less than 2.
Maybe 2 or less than 2. Okay. And do you go back and forth a lot? Or do you stay?
I stay when I feel happy. I leave when they fight.
Mm, okay. So now let's allow yourself to be aware of this special part of you. This moment in time where you're experiencing growing in your mother's womb. Now I want you to look at the fetus. Look at your old, your baby you, and let her know that it's okay. You understand that she doesn't like to be there when they're arguing, but let her know that everything's going to be okay. Now I want you to give her a kiss on the forehead. And as you do this, place that cocoon of light that you have protecting you and surrounding you. Place it on that baby and let her know that it's okay. And know that if there are any less than positive feelings coming from your mother, that you don't have to carry those. You can release them. Any fears or insecurities from things that you've experienced through your mother, You don't have to carry those. And let the baby know that it's safe and protected. And give her a warm hug. When you've done that, let me know. Now allow yourself to be aware of a special part of you, your energy, your essence, your soul. Notice how it feels for you as a soul that you are here in the physical self, dancing, integrating, and becoming who you are and who you will be when you are born. Now, as a soul, you said that you spend some time in a body and then you come and go. So when you go, where do you go? Can you tell me about where you go?
A space.
Space. And how does it feel to be in this space?
Freedom.
Ah, that's wonderful. Freedom.
The different places I go, there is a place looks like looks like a lounge that we gathering together. You can't see the ceiling, but there's someone sitting up there, kind of like authoritative figure. There's a center space that for her or him to sit up there. It's a kind of like heavenly place, if you'd call that. You can just see mist, white cloud, um, people dressed up.
Did you say dressed up?
It's kind of like we come here if we have celebration or we have a special um events like announcements, like someone who's made an achievement, we acknowledge and we celebrate. Or there's someone who's been granted a new role, a new title. So it's a place for everyone come together to celebrate, to share, to spread the news, the energy.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. So as you're there and you look around, can you identify what the celebration is going on right now? If there is a celebration?
There isn't a celebration at the moment. It's a place that I describe, that we
Ah,
come here and gather.
but it's not happening right now. Okay.
No,
How wonderful.
but other times I travel. I travel in the space. I go to different planets.
Mhm. And can you share about them? What do they look like?
It's um, it's It's sort of a mix of different lights. It's blue, purple, and black. They're mixed together, and then there are stars and planets inside this blue, purple sort of mist. Sometimes it's clear, other times it's quite cloudy. I don't have a form of myself. I just sense my existence. So you can't see me. If you wanted me to identify myself for you, I can't because I don't exist in a physical form. But I sense my existence, if that makes sense at all.
It does. It's more of an energy type. Is that what you're describing?
Consciousness.
Consciousness. That sounds beautiful.
I see this plant, it's like the rocky shape, rounded, not smooth surface. There isn't any water. It's it's just rocky surface.
Mm. And look around. What do you observe?
You see there's light coming from the right side,
Mhm.
very bright, shining light. Um, more light now. There's lots of stars all over the place.
Sounds beautiful.
It it's You might think it's sun, but it maybe it's more than just the sun. It's like this the core, the center is pure white, bright, and then expands to its surroundings. But there's no ending, there's no edge as well. So in the center, it's dense, it's intensified, it's pure, it's solid. And then as it spread it out, it it becomes loose, becomes fuzzy, becomes unclear. So you can't really identify the edge, if that makes sense.
I think so. Thank you for explaining that. And what do you do when you're there? What is it that you do?
I observe how how energy works.
Observe how energy works. And tell me, how do you do that? How do you observe how energy works?
You observe different atom, different neuron. If they, you experiment, you put a different atom together, so you create things. You learn.
That
It
sounds
from the outside. From the outside, it looks like the atom and neutron forming together by themselves. It's
mhm.
like a natural process, but we are part of the process. So what happens let's say, I'm just using an example to explain how this works. If you have two hydrogen and one oxygen, they'll form something called water. But let's say if there's one hydrogen and one oxygen, they come together. If this energy, this hydrogen and one oxygen, if they don't work together, then they will they will cause some impact or effects that may or may not be conducive for the environment. As nature is evolving itself, as the energy has its own its own way of forming together, working together. And if they don't, they separate. When they separate, they will cause certain effects. And that's where natural disaster come.
Thank you for explaining that. That's very cool. Now, let me ask you a question. Apple is interested in, she's doing healing. Is this type of work going to be able to help her, and how could she use this background of knowledge of observing how energy works? How can this help her, or how can we help her become an international healer and, have all of that available to her?
She's gonna work this through. That's very beautiful work. But she's on the right track.
She's on the right track. Okay.
She needs to go out and explore networking a lot more. She works on her own, which is good, but she also needs to network, to expose herself at a bigger platform. That will come. And
That will come.
she's working towards that. So expose herself more would be helpful.
Okay. So expose herself more, and she is on the right path. Is there anything else that we can let her know for her business and how to go down that path? Any other messages?
You will have to use social media
Social media. Okay.
to engage into the international space.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Now, one of the things that she also wanted to ask about is she wanted to know if there's anything that we can do to assist her with her speech. She wants to kind of refine her speech. Is there anything that we can do, or what can she do to help her with that to achieve her goals?
She speaks fine, but she has high expectation of herself, and that is fine. She can learn to accept who she is,
Mhm.
and there will be ways to fine tune her speech. Meditate and allow this speech energy to come through. Bit of more practice as she's already doing it. She's doing fine. It will come.
Good, good. I'm happy to hear that, and thank you for sharing that. She also wanted to know how she can better help her brother. Do you have any messages with that?
She's already doing that.
She's already doing that.
Her brother has his own journey. He has the fear. He feel he doesn't acknowledge his gift.
Mhm.
Um, that's part of his planning.
It's part of his
He's
planning. Okay.
he's he's gifted, but he chose to reincarnate in this environment. In the environment that he doesn't get much resources from, that can limit his belief.
And is there
Um,
anything that Apple can share with him? Maybe a book, a podcast, something that may kind of, you know, nudge him to the right, his path.
he's doing a channel, a podcast later this year. Well, it's already on the journey. It's already happening, but
Good.
that's in English, not in Chinese. Um, Sometime in the future, there may be opportunity they will work together, but not now. For now, she she's already done some work for him, still going on. Sharing the resources that's available for him, but he needs to learn and study the resources to broaden his views and slowly dissolve his old belief that he can't, that is impossible. He has to come to that understanding and awareness himself.
That makes a lot of
Some en-
sense.
some energy work, some energy work
Energy
can
work.
help.
Okay. So for
Which
Apple to do energy work for him, like on him, or for him to explore it himself?
both,
Both. Okay. Perfect. Thank you for sharing
both,
that.
both of them are gifted, but with gift, you bear greater responsibility. And this is chosen by them
By them. Okay. Can you tell me who them is?
themselves, as in me and my brother.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Now, do you have any other additional advice for Apple? Anything that she may not be aware that she could use in her life at this moment?
She needs to work on her patience.
Finish the work on her patience. Does she know what you're talking about?
Yes,
Yes. Okay. Perfect. And then, of course, we talked about her making sure she has balance in her life, that she's taking the time to play and work at the same, that balance, correct?
yes.
Perfect. And is there anything else?
Anything that she wants to know, she would know.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Now, is there a physical sensation that you use to connect with her, to speak with her?
There are different ways. She knows it. She's highly intuitive.
She is highly
We
intuitive.
we do communicate with her through physical sensations, thought. We plant the thought,
Land of thoughts. Okay. Perfect. And is there any
colors,
colors? What colors? What color do you show her?
white and purple mainly. Sometimes there are other colors, depends on her needs.
Depends on her needs. But she knows this. She knows how to identify them?
Now, yes,
Not yet. Okay. And is there anything that she can do to help her, build that connection so she understands it better?
meditate.
Meditate. Okay. And it does sound like she's doing that. So good. Thank you for sharing that. And I am so sorry I did not get your name. What is your name?
There's no name.
There's no name. Okay.
You can name it if you wanted to, or whatever name you want them to be, then that's our name.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Well, if there are no other messages, or do you have any other messages?
We do come down sometimes in the form of a different figure.
And what figure is that?
Sometimes in the form of philosopher, sometimes it's Buddha, other times it's Jesus.
Beautiful.
Because she asks for this.
Mhm. Beautiful. Thank you for
She
providing that for
asks
her.
us
Mhm.
She asks us to use her body as our instrument to serve people.
That's beautiful. And thank you for helping her do that. Okay, so now we're going to return back. Thank you for sharing that. We're going to return back.
Sometimes,
Mhm.
sometimes we communicate her through headache.
Through what?
Headache,
Headaches. Okay, can you tell me a little bit about that?
because the soul is energy from the space, from the higher realm, needs to integrate with the physical body, and the physical body has a different vibration, and the body needs to break through. That's through headache, physical
Ah,
pain.
okay. And is this something that she recognizes, or does she not know that this is happening when she gets the headaches?
She's getting that.
She's getting that. Okay. And is her discomfort something that she's able to manage, or is there anything that we can do for discomfort?
She manages that.
She
She
manages that.
it's not a concern, but it's an awareness.
Okay, perfect. Good. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that. So now we're going to go back to awareness, coming back to today, April 9th, 2022. Now I want you, Apple, to take a deep breath and know that all of these messages, all of these memories, all of these feelings are there for you, available to you whenever you need them, or any other messages to receive whenever you are ready to receive them. So now we're going to count. When we get to 5, you're going to be fully awake, refreshed, invigorated. 1, slowly, peacefully, and calmly, returning back to your awareness. 2, coming back, feeling your muscles. 3, your eyes are refreshed, like they've been bathed in a cool, refreshing water. And 4, take a deep breath. And when you open your eyes, you'll feel invigorated, you'll feel calm, peaceful, and integrated. And 5, open your eyes. Go ahead and stretch. Take a deep breath. How do you feel?
My God! Oh, it's good.
That was beautiful. I love talking to your higher self.
Yeah, it's wonderful, isn't it? This insight.
Yes, that truly is. And you're so insightful. It's absolutely beautiful. I love that. It pours through. Like it's just you. It's beautiful. Like your guys were talking, and it was like this is Apple. Like it's beautiful to feel. Like you feel that energy.